All right, so I wanted to talk about setting goals and planning and taking actionable steps to achieve these goals. We're in the middle of January, and I'm sure at the beginning of the year, most of you had goals or plans that you wrote out to achieve during the year. And kudos to you if you are following these goals or you're following these plans and you're doing this daily. But I know that for some of you, you might be losing momentum on the things that you said you're going to do. So at the beginning of the year, you started out well, you were putting in the efforts to achieve these goals, but as the year progressed or as the month progressed, you started losing momentum. So if you're in this category, then this video is for you. I made some personal observations about myself and some personal experimentation about myself about how I'm able to achieve goals that I set for a specific year, and I want to share that with you guys. So at the end of the video, I'm going to be talking about the thing that or the particular method that worked for me when it comes to goal settings and achieving the things that you want to do in a specific year. Hello guys, my name is Nonyakla. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, I talk about technical concepts and basically anything that I find interesting. So make sure to hit the subscribe button, like the video, and also leave me a comment in the comment section below so that I know what you think about the things that I'm going to be sharing with you. Alright, so this is an experiment that I ran on myself to see how I'm able to achieve the things that I set out to do for a particular year. So within a couple of years or within 3 years, I'd experimented with myself to see what works best for me when it comes to goal settings. So the first experiment when it came to the first year was to set long-term goals, and this is something that I grew up doing. So when every year came or in a new year, I knew that I was supposed to set some new year resolutions. I don't know where I actually got this from, but I remember that in every year since I started growing up, I would put down some specific things that I wanted to achieve for this year. So I basically set long-term goals for a particular year, and at the end of the year, when I look back to um, see if I was able to achieve these goals, I realized that I wasn't able to achieve many of these goals. I would sometimes achieve maybe 2 out of maybe 10 goals or 3 out of 10 goals. But what I want you to realize is that it didn't mean that for that particular year I ended up wasting my time and not doing anything valuable, right? What it meant was that for that particular year I had some opportunities coming in or important things coming in that I realized that would be good for my development. So instead of sticking to the goals that I set for the year, anytime I realized that there was a good opportunity, I would just hop on that and get it done, right? Yeah, so that was my first experiment, setting long-term goals for the year. So when I realized that I wasn't able to achieve fully the things that I set out to do for a particular year, I I was like, what's the point of setting goals if I'm not going to be achieving those goals? So I decided to set no goals. So that was the second experiment for the second year where I was running this experiment, to set no goals for the year. So I realized that during the year, some opportunities might come up that are beneficial to what I see myself doing in the future, or things that were important to me that would help in my personal development. So once these opportunities come, I just jump on them and I get them done. So I wasn't working by any goals, I wasn't working by any set of rules or any actions or plans or things that I wanted to do. Anytime there was something that was beneficial to my growth that came to me, I just jumped on that and I did it. So what was wrong about this approach was that I wasn't really accountable to myself. I didn't have any written down plans or goals to um, account myself or be accountable to, or like basically um, keep track of the things that I was doing. I was just doing anything as at when it came, and that wasn't a very good way of tracking my of tracking my growth. So that was what was wrong with my second experiment. Okay, so the third experiment, which is what actually works for me when it comes to setting goals and being able to achieve these goals, is setting long-term goals with specific short-term goals. So the whole idea is to have long-term goals in a year, but out of these long-term goals, I have short-term goals and actions that I would do that will eventually help me to achieve these long-term goals. So the way I do this is to write down my big plans for the year or my big goals for the year. And every month, I don't do this beforehand. Every month, I have a day that I sit down to write down the actionable steps to achieve a particular goal for that month. So that's what I do, right? And you have to write down these things every month. So I pick a specific day and I basically spend about 1 or 2 hours to write down things or actions that would help me to achieve a short-term goal. And when you compile these short-term goals, you realize that at the end of the year, these short-term goals help you to achieve your long-term goals. Now, it doesn't also end at only the month level. So when it comes to a month, let's say you write down 2 or 3 things that you want to do in that month that is targeted at you achieving your long-term goal. If you write down those things for a month, you have to go deeper in writing it for or writing actions that you want to do in a week to achieve that goal. So even though I write down my plans for the month, every week on a Sunday, I write down some actionable items that I want to do to be able to achieve the goal that I've set for the month. And this is where the 80-20 rule comes in. So there are a couple of things that I write, but then I focus on the actionable items that would that if I focus on doing, I would achieve 80% output of what will help me to achieve the goal for that month. So I just don't, I mean, I write a couple of things, but I pick out the most important things that if I do would help me achieve the goal for that particular month, and I do them. So that's what I've been doing for I did for I think 2 years now, I think 2024 and 2023, and this has worked for me, and I've been able to achieve most of the things I wanted to do during a particular year, and I'm sure the same thing will work for you. So when it comes to the tools that I use in writing my goals and setting reminders to do my monthly goal writing exercise and my weekly actionable step writing exercise, I use Notion for that. So I use Notion for writing out my long-term goals, and each month I come back to Notion to write down the goals for that particular month and the actions that I'm supposed to do weekly to achieve the goals for that month. So I use Notion to do that, and I use Google Calendar to basically set reminders on my calendar that sends me notification to my email and also sends me notification on my phone to remind me that for a particular month is about to end, and I have to pick a day to review my goals and write down some actionable items for that particular month. So I hope that makes sense. So let me just iterate about what works for me well. So to set long-term goals, but then I have short-term goals that I set every month to be able to achieve those long-term goals. Now, I know this sounds tedious, and this is actually looks like a lot of work when you think about it, but I don't spend over 2 hours doing this. I think even 2 hours is an exaggeration. I spend like 1 hour monthly trying to plan out the things that I want to do for that particular month. Now, I want you to think about it this way. So if you are thinking that this is a lot of work and you are going to be spending a lot of time doing this, I want you to know that this is your life you are talking about. And if you see yourself reaching the height or the level of greatness that you want to achieve, then you should be comfortable or willing to spend at least some 30 minutes in a week to plan out the things that you want to do for the week, and spending about 1 hour planning out the things that you want to do for a month, because this doing these things consistently and doing these things over time would actually keep you disciplined and help you to achieve the things that you want to do for the year. So 2025 has started. We're in January. We are almost getting to the end of January, and we are like in the middle part of January. So I decided to release this video to help you guys who have been struggling with goal setting. We have February all the way to December. We have 11 months more. just remember that every month you have some specific things that you want to do that will contribute to um, your big goal or your long-term goal. So just set some time for that, do that, focus on what you want to do, and you make it. You make it. At the end of the year, you'll be proud of yourself that you have been able to do this. This is your life. You have to take it seriously. You have to dedicate the time. You have to put in the effort to do the things that you want to do. And at the end of the year, you'll be proud of yourself, and you can do this over a long time in your life, and you see that things will be going well for you. So, thank you for your time. Let me know in the comment section how you deal with your goals and your actions and your plans and all of those things. And I'll see you in the next one.